Welcome to Hops and Monsters. I'm Charlie.
I'm Ben.
I'm Ant.
Engineer Ant gets his own mic.
I finally did it. I finally went out and I set myself up a microphone.
We're gonna see how this works out. Okay. I'm
Hey,
just letting you know. I'm just letting you know.
man.
If you get a memo from me next week, like, yeah, listen back. Well, no. I'm
You
just
know,
kidding,
Ant, we're gonna have to take that other mic away from
Ant's
you.
the
Even
man.
though it's your mic, you got to leave it off.
Engineer Anthony Garcia.
It's
Anthony
my
Garcia.
stapler.
Yeah, it's your stapler. Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah, we are gonna put you in the basement though.
Hey, you know,
Can we do
audio
that? Can we
guys?
have you remote? Can we get you? No.
First of all, you got to build a basement,
That's true.
and then you got to haul all this computer crap.
There's
down
not a
there and set
basement
it
in
all
here?
up with all these preamps and limiters.
There's a crawl space.
digital
There
audio
is a crawl
converters.
space.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get. Yeah.
yeah,
We'll be fine.
spiders.
You can hang out in the
and
crawl
crawling.
space, I think,
Yeah.
because we are going to need more room in this studio. Thank you for moving your drums out, by the way.
You're welcome.
This is a lot better here.
It's a labor of love.
This is nice. Yeah. Hi.
So what are we drinking?
Yeah, we're drinking beers. I'm drinking the Total Domination IPA from Ninkasi Brewing. I like it.
That's a great company.
The Domination.
I am drinking New Belgium's Ben & Jerry's Chocolate Chip Dip Ale.
Whoa.
Chocolate
good?
chip cookie dough ale.
Does it taste like chocolate tip?
I'm about to taste it right now.
All right. We're getting a live tasting.
Oh, yeah,
Delicious.
it does. It literally tastes like I'm drinking a jar of ice cream.
Is that
with
a
chocolate
good
chip.
thing?
You've got to try this, dude.
I
You've
will.
got to get one of these.
I'll get one during the
Yeah.
break.
We'll do that.
Oh, you know what? We're gonna
delicious.
take a.
drinking?
I'm drinking Anchor Steam Lager. Their Bear Lager. Got it a
Bear Lager.
varietal pack.
I'm
Variety
just.
pack. Seasonal?
Varietal pack for the season. It has the Go West IPA. It has their Anchor Steam.
I like
It has
that
their
one.
Liberty Ale as well. Whale.
Bear Republic.
Well.
We're gonna take a break in about 5 minutes because I gotta check on that food. I just remembered we're
This
cooking
is
food.
the best year in review ever.
We're gonna do a year in review. I think that's what we're doing this week.
So far, it's working swimmingly.
This is gonna come out basically on the 2nd of January. We will be into 2017, which sounds we're
Yeah.
coming out of my mouth, but so
Still 2 weeks before the end of the world.
yeah, we got a couple weeks at least, and we're gonna enjoy our time. But we're gonna look back on 2016 this year.
They just took George Michael away from us.
Yeah, we're recording on.
We've
yeah.
got to get into that. Yeah, we have some.
The whole second half of this episode, I think, should just be the celebrities that we lost.
We've got to get shout outs to all
the-
the celebrities we've lost.
all the
'cause
people.
It's been too many. For Christ's sake, people.
This has been a
And they've
really
all hit
shitty
too
year.
close
Stop
to
fucking
home.
dying, everybody.
Yeah, this has been a bad one. Yeah, basically, the dumpster fire metaphor is really the way to describe 2016 in a lot of ways. I think personally, we've all had our own personal
Smoldering
ups and
ash.
downs, but yeah, it's not looking good as a species. You know, as humanity looks forward
Yeah,
to this
we've
new dawn.
moved up a few hands on the doomsday clock. For
I'm
sure.
not. Yeah, you know, it's.
I think we're 30 seconds from
I
midnight.
think it's starting to feel real out
In
there.
1980s, Iron Maiden told us we were 2 minutes away from midnight, but
Yeah.
I think now it's not. We're past the minute mark here.
Well, you know, I think it's good that we talked about doing this podcast for like a couple years, and then you know, on the eve
finally
of
fucking doing it,
the
you know?
apocalypse,
Yeah.
we finally did it.
Hey, we got a good 10 episodes out. You know,
This is episode 10 right now. We just released episode 9 was the John Carpenter flashback to our debut.
that
So
took
this,
a while to come out.
Yeah, we
back
held on
in
to
the
that one. We
first
held
week
on
of
to that
November,
one.
I think.
From the vaults.
Yeah, I liked it, but we didn't really know what we were doing at first. So
I don't think we still know what we're doing.
Well, no, I think it's
Ant
changing
knows
every
what
time.
he's doing, but
Ant knows what he's doing.
I definitely do not know what I'm doing.
Technically, this sounds great.
On
And
a technical standpoint, I'm here. I'm making this all work, but
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
okay, good.
Why are you here?
Well, we're all in the same boat.
Well, you do get paid to do
Why are
this
you in my
with
room?
other people,
Yeah.
don't you?
yes, I do.
Shit, sorry,
is
that was my
this is
computer.
That was your
Profession.
computer. Okay. Okay, let's take care of some business, and then we're going to take an early break because I just want to check on that food. Anthony Garcia Audio.com. If you guys have audio needs, Anthony does it all.
He really does know what he's doing, folks.
I mean, but it's
me
like-
and Charlie don't. He does.
Yeah, but if you need a little thing, you want to send someone a holiday audio message, you want to record a song, you want to
start
host your own podcast. Hello. I mean, not that you're going to take him from us, but
Hey, your company needs a jingle.
yeah, the dude he does the jingles. He's got the instruments in-house.
In-house, baby.
Speaking of jingles,
Certified Pro Tools engineer.
but theme music.
degree
We
from-
also have to say thank you to the Left Hand of Creation. Our
Yes,
friends
who are going to be our guests next
Patrick
week.
and Thomas. Well, they're coming in next week. They'll be probably on the show in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We're trying to backlog these again. But yeah, you'll hear from Patrick
what
and
I meant.
Thomas.
Oh, you're gonna hear from them.
You'll hear from.
You're going to hear them,
Sure.
and they're actually going to play on the air for us.
That would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
Actually,
I don't know,
if we could
probably.
do that. Now they're going
Let's
to.
write this down.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
We're going to have them debut their new single.
Go find Left Hand of Creation on SoundCloud and listen to them do things musically. I love our music.
We'll at least have them do a DJ set.
Yeah. Maybe we take when this early break, we'll find one of the other pieces of music they gave us, but we never used. We can use that for the break music.
Ooh,
Give
that's a good
Ant
idea.
something more to do.
Yeah.
Because these guys gave us. We asked them for like the opening track, right? Like
And they gave us 10 pieces of
They gave
music.
us like 10 tracks.
It was hard to choose.
All of them unique, awesome, engaging, really fun. I was like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know why they don't just
here.
put all that out as an album and call it Hops and Monsters the
Yeah,
album.
they gave us like a bunch of homework. And we was like, all right, well, So we have plenty of music from them that we can share.
Original
we should do
motion
that.
picture soundtracks worth.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely have them score the film we're going to write.
Yeah, if we make a movie, it's happening.
We've got that all in-house.
Actually, we should just make a movie. I think The Left-Handed Creation's a great movie title. Also, like we should just
Yeah.
figure
And
out
you know
how-
what? We should make it totally like John Dies at the End. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
That's a great movie, and
Yeah.
that's the way you should do an independent film, folks. Go watch it.
All right, let's take an early break. I am paranoid about the oven that is too hot. So we will be right back, and we're going to talk about our favorite movies. We're going to talk about our favorite music, TV shows, all the good stuff.
That's right. We're going to write down top 5 lists of the best of 2016.
Yeah,
Go.
and then we're going to talk about all the bad stuff because that really is
Oh,
a
man,
huge
there's
part
just
of it.
too
that
much
really
bad
happened.
stuff.
Yeah, that'll happen
Really
later.
happened like a lot. It,
All the
it
bad
really
stuff.
happened.
There was a lot of bad stuff that happened last year.
So
No
we'll get
denying
to it. Timer's going off. I'm Charlie.
I'm Ben.
I mean,
Hops and Monsters. We'll be right back.
if I was God, I'd be high all the time.
Yeah.
Like, if you give me that kind of power, I'd be.
Well, he invented, mushrooms,
Yeah.
cannabis.
Yeah, probably for his own personal use.
Yeah. Then it got out.
It's not fair, damn it.
All right, this is Hops and Monsters. This is our tangent-filled year-end review episode.
This is full of shit we just got to get off our chest. That's-
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. 2016 is the year where you just have to get shit off your chest.
We got to
It's-
vent.
There's a lot of shit happened. We finally got our deep dish pizza cooked.
Yep.
It's delicious. All right, what was good in 2016? Let's put that out there.
All right, should we start with films?
Sure. Let's start with films. Do
I
you have
wanna
a
hear
number
your
one?
list first. Yes, I have a number one.
Okay, I have a number one.
I'm sure it's the same.
I don't know if it is because
I'm sure it's the same as everyone else who's seen it.
my number one is a Star Wars story. So
Oh,
Wait, Rogue One?
yes,
That's my number one.
I'm going
And
with
I'm
Rogue
sure
One.
anyone who's listening, I'm sure that's your number one as well.
I think that's the one this year.
That's the win. It's Rogue One for the win.
It actually ended up being an amazing film. Not, maybe. I mean, not as good as Empire Strikes Back, but it's up there. It made me feel a lot of feelings. Had a lot of great action. I liked all the characters. I really enjoyed it. It was everything I wanted it to be.
I give that movie 5 stars across the board.
5 stars.
Yeah, in every
I'll
category.
Agree. I'll agree.
Acting, performance, script, cinematography, props, costume design.
Exactly.
5 stars across
We're
the board.
going to try to keep it spoiler free because it just came out. Ant hasn't even seen it yet. But I don't think, for me, there's a big hurdle for this movie, and in the fact that it is a Star Wars story. It's the first spin-off, right? It's the first movie that's trying to do something different. Kind of like, the animated Clone Wars series.
Which is really good, by the way.
Which is great. Yeah, exactly. So this movie had a lot to overcome. It doesn't have the opening scroll. It doesn't have the John Williams score, although it has bits and pieces from it.
It's got everything I love about a Star Wars film.
But it has everything there, and it has its own voice. I really love this movie because The Force Awakens last year, a lot of fun, but it does feel like recycled Star Wars.
Yeah. I
This
had
felt
such high
like-
hopes for that, and I was
Yeah.
let down by it, only because I thought the movie should have been 20 minutes longer.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I don't even know is there an extended cut of it yet?
I don't think so.
There's just a
I don't think
theatrical
so.
release,
Yeah.
right?
No.
If there's an extended cut, then it might be a perfect film.
Maybe,
but
yeah, I'm sure in the future there'll be a
kind of
special edition.
anticlimactic at the end, I thought. I had a hard time relating to any of the characters. I thought a lot of the performances were very wooden and impersonal.
Yeah, it just felt like an entertaining movie, but this movie felt like it was really trying to say its own message. And you know, honestly, it's in this year where everything is kind of feeling like it's going to shit. It was a very relatable movie.
Yeah,
it was
I mean,
very like I appreciated the ruthlessness of the Rebel Alliance. I appreciated the willingness to get things done. You know, the first thing Diego Luna does is
hey, no spoilers.
Ant left the room. So here's the first thing that happened in the first 5 minutes of this movie. The Rebel Alliance captain shoots his informant in the back and just kills him so that he can get away. I thought that was pretty telling of the tone of the whole movie. You know, these are desperate people, desperate times. I thought it was great. I don't know. Yeah, Rogue One's my movie. It spoke to me.
I do want to reiterate on that. Yeah, there's good and bad people in the Empire, in the Alliance.
Well,
that's what's interesting here. That's what makes this different than all Star Wars films. There's no clear cut good and evil side.
Totally.
There's people doing evil acts on both sides because they feel they have to.
Well, yeah, it's showing the rebels
Everyone's in a desperate state of mind.
willing to.
The Empire's desperate to get this Death Star constructed.
Yeah,
The Alliance, they're desperate to end it. You know, because
and they're willing to do bad things to make that happen. I thought that was very impactful to the way they tell the story, and that whole final climactic scene, the battle.
John dies at the end.
You know, you kind of know that's coming, but I didn't really expect it to be such a giant space battle, and then on the ground.
That was an
such a
epic
great
space battle
epic.
beyond belief.
Oh,
My God.
yeah,
Damn.
it was-
When Darth Vader's fucking
sure.
Star Destroyer warps in and just wipes out 3 big capital ships in the Alliance, they just smash right into their cruisers and he's just like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, and the Hammerhead ship that just plows into the Star Destroyer.
The Alliance Corvette where they just plow into a Star Destroyer.
I loved it, man. It was big. I didn't really expect it to get that big.
And let's just say Darth Vader ending the whole movie.
Yeah,
in a way that is
it was very satisfying.
He gets all old boy up in there.
It was good. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I think that's got to be your number one, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep.
You got other ones? What's your number 2?
Is it safe?
It's safe. Okay. Come on back in. Ant actually left the room.
Yeah.
So we didn't spoil it.
We don't have to pull your teeth or anything Marathon Man style, but it is safe.
It's safe.
It's safe.
All right.
So go home.
My number 2, and I'm sure you'll all agree with this as well, Arrival.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's my number 1.
That's only
number
because you
one
haven't
for
seen
Ant.
Rogue One yet.
Well, yeah.
It gives it away
reasoning.
in the title, Rogue One.
Yeah.
Everyone's number 1.
No, you know
Rogue
how
One.
that movie's ending. Yeah.
Oh, you don't even know where they come up with that title from. Come on.
I don't know, but you have 1 in the title. That's kind of a shoe-in. It's like naming your horse.
Well, there's no
you know,
Rogue 2 coming up.
100 to 1 odds I'm going to win.
Arrival, very good movie. We talked about it in our Close Encounters, episode. It's I like intellectual science fiction. I like when you're willing to explore ideas without it just being bang bang shoot shoot.
No, this movie
Pew,
approached
pew.
Alien. Basically, I guess you could call it an invasion. It wasn't an abduction, but it was an invasion.
First Contact, yeah.
It was a first contact type movie. It handled this in a way that has never been done before.
Yes,
It was original in every way.
It was an original look at the idea of language, which is, something you don't really think about. I remember reading this great thing I loved. If you ever been an ant, this is good advice. I'm just going to share you some advice.
I appreciate this.
If you're ever first contact with an alien species, the first thing you want to do is demonstrate that you understand what base 10 is, because that is the basis of all mathematics. So if you can tell them, 5 and 10, 10 plus 10 is 20. If you can show them that you're mathematic, that's how you're going to make first contact.
Yeah.
If you scream
Absolutely.
and scramble around and die of shock in front of them, they're going to think you're a wild animal.
I think even Carl Sagan said that if aliens do contact us, mathematics will be the language we're going to communicate with.
Exactly. Right.
Neil
It is
deGrasse
the
Tyson
language.
thinks that aliens will most likely just look at us as some primitive creature, despite our vast knowledge. It
Oh,
would
yeah.
still
we
just-
have no vast knowledge. Come on.
No, we're like a petri dish
Yeah.
to them. Yeah, they're kind of looking at us with mild curiosity.
Here's a lollipop human.
Yeah, exactly. I like Arrival. Yeah, good performances again. Dennis Villeneuve's direction is great. He's patient, slow, reveals kind of the twist in the storytelling as far as the time and the way it's presented to you.
Now, speaking of him, have you seen the trailer for the new Blade Runner?
Yeah,
There's not much there. But
No, it's just images. It gives you hope. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Definitely.
Yep.
I think it'll be good.
Because he's directing Blade Runner. The guy who did
He is,
Arrival.
yes,
Who
yes.
directed Rogue One? I totally missed it.
Oh, Gareth Edwards. Oh, we got to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Gareth.
Okay. All right.
He directed. I really liked it.
He did Godzilla, right?
Yes, I really liked the 2014 or so. Yeah, it was the most recent American Godzilla.
With Bryan Cranston.
Cranston was in
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I thought it
Cransty.
was great. And Gareth Edwards has a great eye. Not to get back to spoilers for Ant, we won't spoil it, but
I've
he's
seen
got a great
Godzilla.
eye for the big, the massive scale. He showed that
Yeah,
in Godzilla
yep.
with the big monsters and showing Godzilla kind of coming up and moving around San
He
Francisco.
did that with the AT-ATs. I felt like I was going to
Yeah.
be stepped on watching that
right,
movie.
right. That scene, no spoilers, where the AT-ATs come out of the fog and kind of the mist. And you kind of see them coming out. So good, so good. But he does it in the big scene with the big, there's those big explosions and
Yep.
the way he conveys the massive scale of everything.
I'll put it this way. I normally
great.
don't make a lot of noise during when I'm watching a movie, but I must have clapped like a dozen times. Every
Oh,
time
yeah.
that someone would say a line that was relating to something or a character from one of the other films would pop in.
Oh, for
and
sure.
You'd just be like, fuck yeah! I can't believe they did that. Like the two hooligans on Mos Eisley, the Walrus Man.
Yes.
And the guy who's
totally.
like, I have the death system on 7 parsecs or
Yeah,
whatever.
Right. That's what I thought too. I saw those guys. I was like,
Totally.
man, how would you like to survive the city destruction explosion only to be killed in a bar
on
a
Mos
week later?
Eisley in a fucking backwater planet somewhere.
Not even. Yeah, it's like
It's like
So
they were
funny.
on fucking spring break or something when they
Yeah.
were over in Jeddah.
I know, right?
They
They're like, man,
actually-
good thing we got out of that town in time. Where should we go next? I don't know. Mos Eisley, they got a
Yeah.
cantina.
I'm sure we can find
Zap.
some trouble there.
Yeah,
So good.
totally. Yeah, Gareth Edwards, great.
All right. So number 3. What's your number 3 favorite?
I'm going with The Witch.
Ooh, that was pretty fucking
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, my favorite horror movie of the year.
Yeah, that definitely was
scary.
so much atmosphere in that one.
Intense.
My favorite word to use, if you hadn't noticed
Yes,
by now.
the atmosphere. No, it really. But I mean, it succeeded in creating that tension, and for me, I don't depend on gore to drive
didn't
the
need
scares. I like when things are built up and you're waiting for the shoe to drop. You're waiting for that thing to happen, and then when it does happen, when the goat actually talks back at the end.
Oh, that goat was such a trip.
That
Black
is just
Phillip.
the best moment. I mean, that moment. That was me in the theater going, "Oh shit! Oh my god!"
Especially
it's
with your
happening!"
Catholic schoolboy upbringing.
Yeah,
I bet
right?
you were shitting your pants, man.
Well, yeah, you're like, "Oh my god, what would it be like to live in this time where religion has such a strong hold on you that you think witches are real?" Blah, blah, silly, and then it's real at the end, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!" I love that. Yeah.
I had to wonder where these witches were Caucasian. They didn't look like they were of native stock. So I wonder where they came from originally. I
That's
wonder if they
interesting.
were ancient Viking hags.
Ooh,
Because
that's an interesting thought. Yeah, I didn't
500
really think of it
years
that
before
way.
Columbus
You would
discovered
think
the
there's not really a lot of white people in those woods at the time. Yeah.
the Bermuda Islands. Basically, he never even landed on continental America. Okay, he discovered some islands in the Bermuda
Yeah.
Triangle. All right,
Yeah. Let's
but the
it right.
Vikings from Greenland managed to
Sure.
sail over into Canada and Nova Scotia, and maybe that's where the Caucasian
I could see that. Okay.
witches
Yeah, I don't
came
know.
from.
I liked how that movie
ancient
too.
pagan.
The Witch did make a
history.
point of saying it was kind of based on ancient, or not ancient, but the old journals and texts. Of
Yeah,
the
but
time,
these witches were far older than New England colonists.
True enough. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Good question. All right. What's another one of yours from the last year?
Okay, I don't know. I think this was made 2 years ago, but since I just only recently saw it this month,
Okay.
I'm going to call it. It's the movie's called Bang Gang.
Oh,
which
yes.
we made a bet that you were going to watch.
It wasn't a bet.
If I
it
watched
wasn't a
Green
It
Room.
was a mutual agreement. I haven't gotten around to Bang Gang yet. It's on my Netflix queue. I saw it on Netflix. I put it on the queue.
Good, all right.
The list.
Because Paulin played me Green Room the other night.
Okay. You liked it.
It was fucking
that's on my
amazing. I
list.
can't believe Patrick Stewart as a neo-Nazi. What the hell?
I loved it. Yeah. Green Room came out earlier in 2016. Yeah, we brought it up a little bit.
Yeah, we talked in the chick
Very
from
intense.
Arrested Development.
Again, very intense. A little bit of gore, not that much, but just the tension.
Yeah, but that's exactly how you
ticking
think it
clock.
would go down if you were in a
Yeah.
white supremacist compound
So
and you're a
scary.
punk rock band that plays anti and neo-Nazi songs.
Right. You love that, right? Where he's like, I have a crazy idea. And
Yeah.
then just Nazi punks fuck off. And
That's just asking for trouble.
I know, those kids.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one of those where it's like, I love that movie because they quickly kind of get in over their heads. And there's that moment, if you've ever kind of felt like you've been in that situation where you could just feel kind of this wave of just terror or just anxiety, and you're just like, I'm in way too deep right now. There's, it's like, you got to get out any way you can. That's what Green Room did for me. It was that,
Yeah,
Very
it was
scary.
definitely harrowing.
yeah, harrowing. Good way to put it. What else? You got another one?
Oh, yeah. So this one's kind of ridiculous, but I really thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of it. It's called Stalled.
Stalled? I don't know Stalled.
It's a British independent horror film
Okay.
about a janitor who gets stuck in a bathroom stall during a zombie outbreak. And literally the whole movie takes place in this bathroom.
Nice.
And he manages to stave off hordes of zombies that roll through the door.
Try to get through.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to, it's on my list.
You
Yeah.
put that on your Netflix
I will
list
have to
right
see
now.
that.
It's
Yeah.
it's well worth watching. It's very well done.
Nice. I saw a movie last spring that I really liked called Midnight Special. About a kid. It's kind of a Spielbergian sci-fi movie about this kid with special powers raised by a cult, and these people break him out of the cult. Jeff Nichols directed it, and he directed a movie called Take Shelter and a couple other ones that I really like. So Michael Shannon plays the guy
Oh.
who takes the kid out.
Okay.
Yeah, and Michael Shannon is great.
Wait, does he play? He plays a good guy this time?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Because he's a bad guy in like every other movie.
He is a good bad guy. No, he's a really intense dude.
General Zod.
Right, exactly. But that one's really good, and basically, this kid has the ability to kind of, without giving too much away, see the other dimension that's on top of ours. That idea of other dimensions of
It's
creatures.
not so much that it's on top of ours, but it blends in with ours.
or just
but
right, exactly. It's
we
it's
don't
like
have. We only have 5 senses, and we need like 7 or 8
Right.
senses in order to detect this other reality that's intermingled with ours.
right. That's what happens. This kid has these. His eyes kind of beam out this information, and you'll see beings made of energy and these
Okay.
structures they build.
What's this movie called? I got to see this.
It's called Midnight Special.
Midnight Special. All
Really
right.
good. Yeah, I like
Sounds
it
like a
lot.
Bob Seger song, but okay.
It did. Well, yeah, exactly. I also think one of the strangest movies I saw this year was The Lobster. Did you hear that?
What?
Did you ever see The Lobster?
No, but I'm writing
You're
this
writing it
down. This sounds good.
All right. I'm going to read just the description on IMDb of The Lobster, okay? In a dystopian near future, single people, according to the laws of the city, are taken to the hotel, where they are obliged to find a romantic partner in 45 days, or they are transformed into beasts and sent off into the woods.
So if you don't need an incentive to find a partner to sleep with tonight, there you go.
That's it. The lobster. Yeah. And the good news is they get to choose what kind of animal they want to be turned into. But no, it's a very strange. It's a
Who
total
would pick
art
a
house.
lobster?
Well,
Zoidberg.
Colin Farrell, who plays
What?
the main guy in The Lobster.
He wants to be boiled alive
He,
at the end of his life. That's what.
well, lobsters can live to be like 100 years old
If you don't get caught.
Well, yeah, if they don't get caught, yeah.
Now I
You
heard
gotta
they
be a
don't feel
crafty
pain,
lobster.
so when they actually are slowly boiling to death, they don't feel it. Is
And
that true? 'Cause
I think that's a thing. It's like when you put a frog in a boiling water, it feels it, but when you turn the water, the heat up, the frog doesn't feel it. So maybe it's Lobsters are basically giant bugs. I mean, there's nothing special.
true. Yeah,
they're
they
just
are.
cockroaches of the sea. So
Kind of, but damn, they taste good.
apparently they're good with butter. So, but the lobster's really great. It's really bizarre. The dialogue is kind of off kilter. Everything seems kind of off in it. It's interesting. I liked it a lot. So, The Lobster.
All right,
I've
got two I haven't heard of.
You got any more? Or you're in your movies?
I know I've seen something really awesome, but this is all I got right now.
Okay.
Ant, what about you? What did you see?
What did you see, Ant?
10 Cloverfield Lane was pretty cool.
I haven't seen that yet.
That was on my list. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Yep. It's a
I
great
mean,
bunker
I
movie.
really liked Cloverfield, the original, so, I'm a spoiler-free person.
Yeah.
So I went into this
Please.
thing going like, fuck yeah, we're going to see number 2.
Uh-huh.
And,
Nothing to do at all.
well,
with,
if
giant
you,
sea creature.
you can connect the dots if you really want to believe, like X-Files style. If you
I
want to
want to believe.
you can make it believe. So that's what I did. I kind of,
Yeah.
you don't like the thing about J.J. Abrams is that he kind of leaves
Abrams.
he leaves it open to
J bro.
J.J. Abrams. He leaves it open to kind of viewer interpretation. Kind of like the fan base, kind of running
like he did with the last Star Wars.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I went into that, expecting a sequel, and I got it in a way. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say the acting was cool. I had no idea.
John Goodman's legit.
John Goodman's
John
great.
Goodman
Yeah.
was solid.
Tony, shut the fuck up.
He should be getting award nominations for that role. Yeah,
Everything
for sure.
he
He
does.
should have
man.
gotten an Academy Award for Big Lebowski.
True. Well, yeah.
Is he nominated even?
That's a good question. I doubt it.
I mean, with
He'll
the
get a
exception of
lifetime
King Ralph,
achievement or something.
he has a really solid
That's
resume.
a good movie. King Ralph is a good movie.
I saw that in theaters when
It's
I was
funny.
a young pup.
Fucking Peter O'Toole or some shit's in that movie. That's one of those movies where some really great people who should not have been in that movie are in that movie.
But yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I would get it on Blu-ray and DVD now.
Huh.
Perfect.
All right.
I love it.
That's it? That's your list?
That's all I can remember.
Nothing notable for the rest of the year.
Well, you
Witch.
saw Arrival
I
with
liked
us.
Witch.
The Witch.
I loved Arrival.
Sure.
I have yet to see this so-called Star Wars film that apparently is out that people are claiming to have seen. Oh,
Yeah.
I liked the new Ghostbusters. I really liked
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I went in there.
Very
and
entertaining.
It was awesome. I have a really strong crush on.
Kate McKinnon, the blonde
Yes,
one.
I love her.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
No.
It's not Kristen Wiig. I mean, she's great.
a sweetheart.
She's a sweetheart, but
No.
Yeah, and there's just no way that the forces of nature are going to line up for us. But
I think you got a shot with Leslie Jones though.
Hey,
you and
she's
Leslie.
cute too.
No, that's a lot of fun. That movie's great. Paul Feig's great. I love Spy. I love The Heat he did with Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Did you see the?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
The news
didn't e-
Ghostbusters, man.
Ghostbusters.
I like going in with my expectations low and being surprised. So this might be the film that'll do that.
Oh, there you go. Well, now they're high because Ant liked it.
No, they're still
Oh,
low.
okay. Okay.
I give it 8 out of 10 ghosts.
Really?
For a
That
Ghostbusters
good.
film, 8 out of 10
That's a lot of
ghosts.
Slimers.
That's
Now that
A
must
lot
be
of
a very
protoplasm.
strong script and a very strong cast and really good cinematography when it's on that level.
There was a lot of quips, and I will say, I was kind of turned off at the idea of modern CGI in Ghostbusters films because traditionally,
Yeah, the ghosts are a little cartoony,
but
but
whatever,
right. It kind of reminded me of the cartoon series actually,
It did.
because I grew up on the real Ghostbusters, that cartoon show they did,
Yeah.
and a lot of those ghosts were kind of the outrageous, kind of like circus clown kind of looking ridiculous ghosts that they had in the new one. So
Yeah, and they
I get
kind
it.
of retained a bit of that darkness, like the from Ghostbusters 2. Remember the Scoleri brothers or whatever?
Sure.
And they come out when they're in the courtroom,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of dark. It's like, oh shit, these ghosts are pretty. I'd actually be kind of terrified if I saw that in real life.
Right.
It's not like adorable, little
Yeah, I remember
Slimer.
those first two the Goosebusters. A lot of scary moments. A lot of kind of not scary, but just ooh, yeah, that could be scary.
True story.
Uh-oh.
I saw Ghostbusters 2 when it was in theaters back in
Sure,
1989.
I did as well.
And so and I got pumped up because I watched the cartoon. My mom introduced me to the movie, so it was kind of backwards. And then Ghostbusters 2 came out, and so I went down to the Third Street cinemas to go see this movie.
Yep.
And all was good until they started walking down the subway tunnel. And then they saw the decapitated heads on the spikes.
Yeah.
I started freaking the fuck
definitely.
out. So then we
That's
went
intense.
into the lobby, and my mom was like, "Okay, obviously you're 5, you can't handle this."
Yeah.
And so, I said, "No, I'm a big boy. I'm gonna go back in, and I'm gonna finish this motherfucker up."
Yeah.
So we went back.
And you were
in,
what? You were 17 at the time? Yeah.
31.
Yeah.
And so we went back in, and right as we get back in, that's the part where they fell into the river of slime, and then I totally lost my shit, and we had to go home. I ended up watching a Curious George film after that, and it really brought me back.
That's pretty good. I had a. Do you guys ever? This is totally a tangent. Do you ever see Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so the final scene where he's finally fighting the like lizard alien guy. My dad, I was kids. My dad tries to cover my eyes in that scene, like this is way too intense for you, and I'm like, get your hand off of me. Get your hand off of me. I love it. Yeah, my parents were totally like that way. They're like, I don't know, that might be scary. It might be scary. But I probably no. I think I was the same way where I had the night terrors and they were like, well, if we let this guy go see this ghost movie, he's going to be screaming for a week. I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah,
I'm not
or he
waking
might
up.
start a podcast about horror films later on
He
in
might
life.
get into it. Yeah.
We can't have that.
He might actually like this stuff. We
Have your
can't do
folks
that.
heard this podcast yet? I'm curious.
I don't think so. No.
They just aren't even interested in what you're doing.
No. I don't think I ever told them.
Hey, you should thank your mom on the air for the use of this card table we're using, by the way.
Well,
That's a hell of a table, I
She
must
doesn't
say.
know we're using it right now. I
She
brought
does
it over.
now.
Well, yeah. Mom. Okay, we talked about movies. What do you want to do? Music or?
Yeah, let's do music.
I've got music. I got music
Okay.
ready to go.
We got music ready to go. For me, I'm gonna let me start with saying this. 2016 is the year I really got into the soundtrack as a musical piece. I listened to John Carpenter's Lost Themes 2
Ooh.
when it came out in April or something.
Oh my god! I still need to hear that.
It's
I'm buying that on vinyl.
yeah. It'd be great if we could actually plug some of this in, but
We're plugging John Carpenter's Lost Themes.
John Carpenter's come out with his Lost Themes 2 earlier this year. I think it's great. You had Survive doing the Stranger Things soundtrack.
Right? No, Patrick was talking about that.
Genius.
I actually went and saw Survive in concert in Sacramento.
Really? Are they
Yeah,
amazing?
my friend Eric. I don't know. It was great. It was
they like
four
zombie?
guys. It was four guys at keyboard stations, just kind of
Four
doing their
guys?
thing. Four guys, no dialogue. They just came out, a lot of fog.
Do you feel like they were ripping off Zombie hard or?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. But they were doing it well. I mean,
Okay.
But
Because
that was
Zombie's a
fun.
great band, folks.
And then one of my favorite releases of the year was the original motion picture soundtrack to Coven that our friends at Forever Midnight did. Josh and Jeff and Brian.
Oh, they put that together?
They put out a soundtrack. Did you know that this year?
No.
Earlier this year? Our friends at Forever Midnight are a great horror movie podcast. They approached Mark Borchardt, who was the subject of American Movie. He made an independent film called Coven, which is really great, and they put out the soundtrack. And so just go to forevermidnight.com or whatever they got.
Yeah, check their stuff out. Awesome.
So cool. Such a great... it was the original music. They got in touch with the director. They got in touch with the guy who did the music. That's one of my favorite records of the whole year. So a lot of
they have it on
soundtracks for
vinyl?
me. It's all, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely
I'm
on vinyl.
swinging by their store and
Dude,
I'm buying it on
yeah,
vinyl. if they
you
have
could
it.
probably find it at the Last Record Store or at their shop on.
Yeah, I'm sure they
Pioneer.
have it at their shop.
Yeah, Forever Midnight has their own shop now. That's the kind of stuff.
Where is it?
It's on Piner. It's
Is it by the Music Co-op? Because I practice near that place.
Kind of across the street. I'll show you. It's
right.
kind of on the corner of is it Bicentennial or Cleveland and no, people don't want to hear us talk about directions. I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
All right.
So a lot of soundtracks for me. Otherwise, I don't know. Give me some of your favorite albums, and I'll probably agree.
Oh man, I've got like 10. All right.
Okay.
Now a couple of them I just heard this year, even though they weren't released this year.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
Should I
I'll
just
allow it.
start off with?
Start off with what you got. Yeah, give me what you what are you
Okay.
listening to?
What have I been listening to? There's so many good records that came out this year. I guess I'm just going to read off the names, and I'm not really going to go into details about it. So
Okay. These are
I'm
just
not even going to number them.
recommendations.
Okay, I'm just going to go down the list.
Go.
Baby Woodrose. Baby Woodrose blows your mind. It's garage
Excellent.
rock from Denmark.
Beautiful.
Blues Pills, their debut record. Even though they have 2 records out, their debut is really good. They're from Sweden. Deftones, Gore.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Doyle Bramhall II. He's a local cat.
Oh yeah.
He's the nephew
Dude,
of
I know
Stevie
Doyle.
Ray Vaughan.
I interviewed Doyle a couple weeks ago.
Holy shit,
I know
dude.
Doyle,
I
yeah.
saw his concert at Hop Monk 2 weeks ago with
Oh,
Colin.
that's awesome.
He was amazing live.
He's great.
My God, but his
Holy
new
cow.
record, Rich Man, is so good.
Yeah.
He's totally
you
reinvented
kidding?
blues
That's
and
so
soul
funny,
and
man.
funk.
Yeah, he's a total bluesman, and dude,
He's got the blues and Stevie Ray Vaughan's nephew.
I will forward
folks.
you the article I wrote about him. Yeah,
Oh,
I totally.
awesome.
I had him on the phone. That's great.
And Paulin shot his show, too.
Oh, nice.
She was a photographer there.
I want to see those shots. Yeah.
Okay, there's a band from Seattle I really like that Ed from our band turned us on to. Me and Anthony played in a band called Baron Altar, if you didn't know.
Baron Altar.
Okay, so-
Bandcamp.com. What's
Yeah.
the-
.bandcamp.com.
There you go.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's sick.
We got some new stuff going out there. So there's this band that before I was in the band, you guys played with this band in Seattle called He Whose Ox Is Gored.
Yes.
So good. The album's called The Camel, the Lion, the Child, I believe.
Nice. Okay. Perfect.
Okay, another one. Post-rock band. We saw these guys at Bottom of the Hill in September. If These Trees Could Talk.
They're great.
Fucking amazing for post-rock. I mean, they give Explosions in the Sky a run for their money.
Wow.
Who we also saw.
Yeah,
At,
and
a
that was
couple-
loud and wonderful.
Yeah, at the Fox Theater, I think in July we saw them, right?
I can't remember, but
They
Over the
had
summer.
a really interesting band from Europe open for them called Disappears, which is
I like that name.
crazy sounding.
but
That's
that we also saw a really awesome opener.
Oh yeah, Spotlights
Spotlights.
from New York. That's a great band.
Cool.
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah.
You guys
Okay.
getting all this?
All right, moving
writing
on.
this down.
We have Leprous with the Congregation. Leprous is from Sweden. They are. There's a band called Emperor that you might know, black metal band.
I know the name. yeah.
Izon from Emperor. When he tours, Leprous is his band that he uses when he tours.
Sweet.
They played at the Phoenix. We saw them play. They were amazing.
Nice.
They put on a show, people.
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought I was watching Queen or something. It was that epic, and the singer was that good.
Nice.
Or Muse at the very least, but played in a black metal style. Okay, this one has to be, we can't ignore this anymore. This is Anthony's number one, I know. Meshuggah, Violent Sleep of Reason.
I
Meshuggah.
love that record.
Yeah, in fact, Charlie actually interviewed Thomas Hawk a couple years ago for Alarm.
I hate you.
I
Yeah,
know.
he got to talk to him personally.
I sent you that link. Did you?
I haven't read it yet. but
Okay.
Was he a chill
I
dude?
interviewed Thomas Hawk for it was in
That's like his drum god.
2014
He's up
concerning
there
concerning
with
the album
top
before
three.
they did
Obzin?
Coloss?
Or Kolos.
Colossus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you that link. Yeah, it was
Nice.
nice. I got to do a thing on him.
He's cool. He's really chill.
Very cool. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so moving on, I got Aranzi Prezuzu, band from Finland. They're like proggy black metal. I can't pronounce their album title. Varet Helia, I think.
To pronounce it correctly, I would have to rip out your tongue.
Pretty much, yeah.
I love it. You got all these Finland.
I got another one.
European
got an
bands I've
American
never
one.
heard of.
The Deer Hunter. And
Oh,
this is
okay,
spelled Dear.
Okay.
The Deer. Yeah.
The deer. Yeah.
The album title is 5, and it's The Devil Walks Down by the River or something weird like that. But
Nice.
it sounds like the soundtrack to some demented musical.
Yeah. Right.
It's so good.
Those are all really good.
Do I have anything else? No, that should do it for now. That's for me.
All right, cool.
Wait, no. I got two more.
Here we go.
Hold your horses.
Here we go.
Sorry, I got to say, okay, we're playing with this band in February.
Oh,
And
cool.
This band's called Uwata, which means horror in Latin, I believe. Or horrid. No, horrid's another band we're playing with. The album's called Devoid of Light.
I was going to
by
say,
Uwata.
isn't Uwato...
They're from Portland, Oregon.
The guy, the character from Basket Case, who's the little monster? Nah, never mind.
No, this is spelled Uauda.
Okay, I think that is different.
And it's Latin
That's a
for
Portland
something
band?
meaning horror.
Nice.
Or
Was that at the Phoenix?
no, this is actually at the back bar. It's in San Jose. It's for a festival called Black Storm Fest. It's a bunch of local black metal bands. It should be pretty good though. So just some other ones really quickly. There's a band called So Hideous that came out with an album that I really like. There's a band called Vora from New York, which has members of Gorguts. And a local band with a guy I used to play music with a very long time ago named Mark Baker. His band's called Orchid. And their last album is called The Mouths of Madness. So it's very Lovecraft.
Nice.
And they're just they're one of they're part of this new doom revival happening in the Bay Area right now. Really good stuff. So check out Orchid.
Love it. I have a bunch of local ones I'll just throw out because I want to take a break here in a second. So I cover North Bay music as part of my job, so I'm pretty much just listening to bands in Sonoma County, Napa County, Marin. Own, I Love Myself and I Want to Live. OVVN, kind of like how The Witch was 2 V's.
Oh wow.
That's Doug Jane. He's Doug Jane's son, Ethan Jane. I'm sorry. Doug Jane owns Last Record Store. Ethan Jane, his band, really cool noise, rock, kind of off the beaten trail. I like the Vibrating Antennas. They put out State of the Art. That is a good noise rock. You've got Redwood with Wildfire. That's a good post-punk kind of protest songs. And then Decent Criminal was a really good punk band. And Acrylics.
Oh, and didn't you also turn me on this band called Teal from Oakland?
Sure, yeah, Teal.
I liked them a lot. We saw them play at Atlas Coffee Company. They were pretty loud, kind of in a Sisters of Mercy kind of way, but it was pretty cool.
A good show.
Very goth.
And we saw them with VHS.
VHS from Portland.
Portland.
Or from Seattle.
Pacific Northwest. It was one of the Pacific Northwest towns.
Yeah, I know. I think Annie knows them.
They were really good, too.
Yeah.
That was a great one. So, all right. We got to get some more beers. We have a couple of things to taste when we come back. We're going
taste test now.
We're going super long, but it's the year, and so it makes sense. We'll talk about some TV we liked. We'll talk about, I don't know, other stuff. Whatever, right?
Yep.
I'm Charlie.
Folks. I'm Ben.
I'm Ant.
That's Ant. This is Hops and Monsters 2016 in review. We'll be right back.
Charlie, should we try the brown note? It looks like a can of Starbucks macchiato or something.
Yeah, we can try that.
But then this
Sorry,
bloody
I'm still
show
eating.
Against the Grain Brewery. Bloody show. This with blood orange. Lager with blood orange.
We can go back and forth.
All right, well.
So, yeah, we got 2 beers from Against the Grain Brewery out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
And I picked these out of the store because they are offensive to me. I'm offended. Bloody Show is a lager with blood orange. And then Brown Note is a brown ale. And if you know what Bloody Show or Brown Note is supposed to mean via the Urban Dictionary, this is an
So I can see why you're offended.
Yeah, it's inappropriate, but I really want to try it. No.
Do you want the brown or do you want the blood first?
The blood or the... Oh, good. That is a good question. Let's start with the brown first.
All right.
Yeah. Let's, open it up.
Crack this open here.
It's a can. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff. The Brown Note from Louisville. Welcome back to Hops and Monsters.
It pours pretty silently, actually.
We are... oh, boy. We're trying to wrap up this dumpster fire year in dumpster fire fashion. I think giving it the year in review it deserves.
Throw a quilt over it.
Yeah.
Moving blanket.
We're just, yeah, exactly. And then we're going to move on. But we still got some things to talk about. I watched a lot of TV this year.
Oh, there was so much good stuff on TV.
Not as much as I should have, but I did watch a lot of good TV. So let's talk about TV we liked. I got to start with Stranger Things. That's the one for me.
Yep.
That one hit me in the sweet spot. Much like this brown ale. Is hitting me
Okay,
in the
this
sweet
is
spot.
this is a coffee stout for sure. Wow, and it is brown.
No, this is like a Newcastle.
Holy shit, dude!
This
Have
is
you
like
looked at the
Newcastle.
can?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm telling you. It's
Can I describe the can?
Try. Yeah.
Can I try? I don't even think
Attempt to describe.
There's like a brown stream leaking out of this dude's rear end, and he's got a roll of toilet paper in his left hand. But he's got a bunch of prison tattoos all over his body too. It's a drawn caricature.
It is. Yeah, it's not a photograph. No.
We should take a picture of this and put it up on the website. 'Cause I don't think people will believe it.
Yeah, I think both of these actually. Yeah, it's. Look, I'm telling you, man, it's hardcore. I found that in Oliver's Market, right next to all the family-friendly beers. So I love Stranger Things. I binged watched that about 3 times over the summer.
You watched it 3 times.
Yeah, I did 3.5 times.
You thought it was that good?
I loved it. I love the music. I love the characters. I love the kids. I love the monster.
Winona Ryder looks hot for her age.
I love Winona Ryder. I love the guy who played the sheriff. I loved everybody. Yeah, it was very enjoyable for a good week and a half. I think I kind of overdid it though, because I haven't been able to really kind of go back and enjoy it anymore.
See, I just want to say that I have a hard time getting into it because I felt like everything about it was a cliche, even though it was done really well. I feel like I saw it all in other movies beforehand. It was like a Paranormal Activity / E.T.
Well, yeah,
/ Goonies.
The thing is, that's the point. But at the same time, they're nailing that with so much.
They totally nailed it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole thing.
That's without dispute. They nailed it.
Yeah, no, it was like watching a mixtape of all my favorite, movie cliches and things. I loved, like I said,
everything you loved about movies in the '80s. That had it.
Everything, yeah, exactly.
Except rock star vampires, a la Lost Boys.
Yeah, yeah. Could use more vampires, but it got me really into that mood of being a kid in the 80s and having that
See, it felt more 70s to me. That was the funny thing.
Well, yeah.
Because I can relate to the kids, playing Dungeons & Dragons and riding around on those
it's all kind of the same, right?
fucked up looking bikes, with the big ape handlebars. And
right.
That's what you did, in the 70s.
No, I just,
before you found out what really cool BMX was.
I enjoyed it, yeah. And it was one of those where it made you like characters you didn't think you were going to like, like you root for Steve at the end, even though Steve's a douchebag for the first, 5 episodes.
Fuck Steve.
I love Steve. Come on, Steve redeems himself at the end.
Dude,
Steve takes on the monster at the end, and I think he redeems himself.
There's
for sure.
Okay, so this other show on Netflix, it just came out called The OA.
Yeah,
I have The OA. Yeah.
Tell me
more. It's about near death experiences, and a scientist who studies people, and basically he kidnaps people and he kills them to study their near death experience and their return back to life.
Oh yeah,
it's very
I didn't know it went that deep. Yeah,
because the scientist is actually a likable guy, but he only abducts people who have a history of returning back to life.
Huh. Kind of like Flatliners, then.
Kind of, yeah. But so anyway, there's a subplot in the story with like a douchebag character named Steve who kind of ends up saving the day at the end.
This is the year of the Steve, man.
I guess.
If you're Steve, this has been your year. Yeah, you're killing it. I love it. Yeah,
and he's like this fucking frat boy.
I want to see the
high school kid
much.
Who's totally just an asshole and a bully to everybody.
Right.
But he ends up turning it around somehow and ends up being a hero.
That's great. Well, I also wanted to talk about a show I loved. I don't think there's a Steve in this one, but Westworld I just finished watching recently.
You bastard. I haven't been able to watch that yet. I don't have HBO Go.
It's so good. Come over. I'll let you watch it at my house.
Or you got to give me your fucking HBO code or something.
It's one of those where even though it's based on a movie we've all seen and we kind of you know what's going to happen, it constantly surprises you. It leads you down these little rabbit holes you don't even know you're going down until kind of the reveal. It's really well done. And actually, you know, Jonathan Nolan co-wrote. He co-wrote
Really?
Christopher Nolan's movies. Yeah.
No,
So
he's
it's
a great
good.
screenwriter. He's
Yeah.
been involved in all his brother's works.
Yeah. So it's really good. And Ed Harris is great in it.
He
All
totally
the actors are good in it.
wasn't
yeah.
there like a bald guy in the original?
Yul
Yul
Brynner.
and
Yeah.
Ed Harris plays his character.
Well, you know, Yul Brynner in the original was one of the park hosts. Ed Harris plays a guest. So it's not the same character, but I think it's a...
Because I would see
But you know,
those totally
it's-
fitting in the
it's-
same role.
It's funny though, Ben, because there's totally this. There's these throwback kind of little moments that kind of recognize the movie, and there's a total scene where you see Yul Brynner's character in the background. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's great. It's great. No, but and it's one of those. It's right at the the season finale is just like it opens up all these other kind of thought, you know, avenues that your mind starts going down, and I love that it doesn't really reveal the world outside this thing. You know, it's a
pretty
theme
much
park.
is Blade Runner in a theme park.
It's
right?
a theme park. So it's a theme park where you get transported to the Old West and you interact with, you know,
Replicants.
robots. Yeah, you know, for all intents and purposes, they're robots, and you get to do whatever you want to them.
Whatever you want
Without consequence.
to them.
But if you've seen the movie, Michael Crichton directed the movie. The robots,
Rebel.
yeah, they're not happy about it. So this first season kind of took its time setting up all the characters and everything, and then, man, when that final episode happens, it's great. So we did a whole episode about Black Mirror already, but it's worth just saying, you know, if you haven't
We
seen
can
Black,
recap it because
if you haven't seen Black Mirror, see it.
Mirror
Yeah.
and you have Netflix, what the hell are you doing? Why are you listening to us? Go watch Black Mirror. Fuck.
Here's how I explain Black Mirror. I had so again, I do music interviews for a living. I interviewed this Americana singer-songwriter, Jackie Green, doing a regular column. You know, we're talking about his shows, we're talking about his music, blah, blah, blah. At the end, I like to wrap up my interviews going, is there anything else we haven't talked about that, you know, you want to talk about? Is there anything else I haven't hit upon yet that, you know, would be of interest? Usually they go, well, you know, I'm doing this, or I have a thing, or, oh, you
I have
know,
an
whatever.
album out that you haven't talked about.
Yeah, exactly. You dumbass. No, but then so I asked that question to Jackie, and he goes, "Have you seen Black Mirror?" And I got into this total nerd rant with
You just bonded on
with
that
this
level.
Brooklyn singer songwriter. Yeah, exactly. It was so funny. It was like, yeah,
And you're
this-
like, I did a podcast about it,
like,
actually.
Oh my god, have I? Yeah, I've.
Did you tell them about our podcast?
I don't think I did. No,
Damn
I
it,
I
Charlie.
know.
You gotta
I'm bad
promote.
at it. I'm bad at publicity.
You're
I'm a
sinking the
content
ship
creator.
here.
I'm not an advertiser.
Folks, go on Facebook and like us and all that stuff because we need the likes.
We
you
need
know?
'em.
Otherwise, we're
We
just
want
going to
'em.
give up on this.
No, I know we're doing good. We're gonna enter phase 2 here.
We've
in the
got
new year.
5 hardcore listeners. know?
And we love you. And we could name you by name, but
Yeah,
we
they're our
won't do it,
best
Chad.
friends.
No, yeah. Most of you have been on the show.
One of them listened to Down the Country at least.
Exactly. So Black Mirror, if you haven't seen it,
You're an
everyone's going to
idiot.
tell
Go
you to
see
see
it.
it. Yeah, everyone's going to tell you to see it. So there you go. What else you got? You got another one?
Oh yeah, okay. So there's a British zombie show, kind of like Walking Dead, but more of the 28 days later type zombies. You know, as
Okay.
the British do. It's called Dead Set, and Paulin turned me on to this. It's really good. I couldn't believe I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. No, I've
It's
not
on
seen
Netflix
anything.
right now, though.
Okay, Dead Set. I'll
Yeah.
look it up.
It's so good.
I'll watch it. It's really good?
Yeah, it's legit.
Okay. Perfect. Well, have you seen Brain Dead? Speaking of dead.
Is that
I've
a
got-
Peter Jackson film?
No.
That's
no.
Dead Alive, right?
Yeah. Well, I think there's something else Brain Dead, but this is a political
I know
kind
what
of
you're talking about.
comedy,
Yeah,
sci-fi.
I added this to my Amazon Prime. I'm gonna
yeah,
watch it.
it's on
It's like They Live, right?
the Amazon original series. It's kind of like They Live. It's kind of more like what's the fucking movie? It's like a movie where these alien worms infect people's brains.
Oh yeah, Star Trek Wrath of Khan.
So yeah, it's like Wrath of Khan. It's kind of like that, but it's a political show. Yeah, where all the aliens are taking over the politicians, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who was in 10 Cloverfield Lane, who I've had a massive crush on ever since
You can't
Scott
say that. You're
Pilgrim.
getting married in a couple weeks, man.
That's
Come on.
fine. I can.
You can say you have a crush up until you're married.
I am. Yeah, exactly. After January 14th, I will no longer have a crush on Mary Elizabeth Winstead, star of Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
By the way, Aunt, you're my +1 for that, for Charlie's wedding. So hope you got a tux.
Yeah, you're showing up.
I feel so blessed.
Aw,
You
You know,
chose me.
we're arriving as a couple.
it's gonna be fun. It'll be
I've
good.
never felt so happy. I just want to say I've always
All right.
wanted you
Ant-
to ask me, but
Ants
I didn't
out.
want to say
Ants out.
anything. I'm so happy.
What else we got? I liked. Here's a good one. Time Travel 11/22/63, a Hulu original. Now, I don't have cable. I have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, HBO Go.
I used to have Hulu, but
all
when
that
my
stuff.
ex left, she took it with her.
11/22/63 is a adaptation of a Stephen King story about a guy who travels back in time to stop the Kennedy assassination.
Holy okay, all right.
Yeah. Write it down.
Give me that date again.
11/22/63. That's the date Kennedy was killed.
I got to
in
get
Dallas.
Hulu again just to watch this because I'm a huge fucking Kennedy fanatic.
Oh,
Have you read The Dark Side
I'll
of
give you
Camelot?
the book. Do you want to? I'll because
You have the book?
watching the series inspired me and Katie to get the book, and the book's great.
okay.
I'll give you the book.
I'll read the
for
book.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm kind of getting back into Stephen King. I got to tell you, I grew up reading Stephen King. It's been a long time. I read 11/22/63, got right back into it. It's just like this guy's just the master. He's
It is
the
a
best
Stephen King book?
storyteller. Oh yeah,
Damn.
Stephen King wrote it. Yeah.
Okay.
He wrote it originally in 2012, I think. So it's pretty recent, but it's perfect. It's still got all
I
the
don't know
hallmarks.
where he gets so many good ideas. He must be channeling all this.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
mean,
amazing. So
It's rare. I mean, Stephen King has a few clunkers in his catalog, but for the most part, he's like 90% legit.
well, yeah, he's written like 50 novels.
Yeah, and
I mean,
so many.
Jesus.
I mean, only 10% of them are crap. There are a few clunkers, like I said.
Yeah. I think, but I'm going back. I'm reading, I'm reading this one that he wrote in the 90s called Gerald's Game right now. So Stephen King, like in the 90s, wrote all these kind of like relationship thrillers, like Dolores Claiborne. And so this Gerald's Game is a book where a woman and her husband are at their vacation home, engaged in a sex game where she's handcuffed to the bed. He dies mid-game.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah, it's intense. And she has to like spend
and
days handcuffed to the bed trying to survive.
Exactly. I'm about a third of the way into it, and she's been there just like all day and night. And like this rabid dog came into the house. It
Cujo shows up.
It started like eating the husband right next to her. It's like it's horrifying. It's I love how Stephen King can just take like a random, like kind of a seemingly normal situation, like a Cujo or something, like a dog,
and just make it the most horrifying
and
thing
just
ever.
make it the most intense, horrifying thing you've ever experienced.
Yep.
So, anyways,
I forgot to mention during our the podcast we did a couple weeks ago about Close Encounters and Arrival, the alien abduction one. Stephen King had a great book in that time called Tommyknockers.
oh yeah,
It's so
remember the
well
name.
written. As far as a UFO story, it's one of the best I've ever read.
oh cool. I'll have to read it. I think I saw the movie or the
Yeah, there was a TV show
miniseries
on
or
it.
whatever. Yeah,
The book is amazing.
very cool. So yeah, and I think Gerald's Game is actually getting. I think so Katie's got like 20 of them. She's got this whole collection of them. We need to get her in for a Stephen
yeah,
King
dude.
episode. But I think Gerald's Game is getting turned into a miniseries or whatever on its own. So reading up
Like
on
a
that.
50 Shades of Grey sort of thing.
Yeah. What else did I like this year? I loved Atlanta, Donald Glover's TV show. Donald Glover from Community, if you ever saw Community. Atlanta is just a great...
Did
Comedy,
Bloodlines
drama.
happen this year or last year?
Which one?
Bloodlines?
That
was last
season
year.
2 was this year.
I haven't seen season 2 yet, but
Season
the first
2's good.
season, man, that floored me.
Bloodline,
Ben
yeah.
Mendelsohn,
Yeah.
and he's so menacing in the new Star Wars Rogue One. My God.
Oh, I know. I'm
I
glad
think that's
he's
why they
finally
killed
getting
his
his
character
due.
off. That's
Yeah.
probably his character was probably meant to survive on Bloodlines, but he asked them to write him out of the script because he got he got the gig on Star Wars.
I don't know.
That's what happens typically.
Maybe.
That's
I don't
why
know.
they-
He kind of shows up in little flashbacks in season 2 of Bloodline. Mendelsohn.
right.
Yeah, it's good. You should watch it. John Leguizamo's in season 2. He's really good.
Huh.
He plays like an old like partner of Ben Mendelsohn, who kind of comes into the family. Circle.
He's crazy.
He's so sleazy and just like
he's perfect in those sleazy roles.
yeah.
Man.
No, he's great, and yeah, Bloodline definitely like the best actor.
Like he's a comedian by trade and an actor second.
Yeah.
And he just knocks it out of the park
but
every
he's
time.
great. Yeah, he's great. Another great show I think that was acted beautifully was Narcos. Season 2 came out this year.
Yep. Season 1 was incredible.
It's just a masterclass. It's one of those where you just watch it and you're just like, this is people at the height of their ability.
Yep.
You know, performing.
And this is
producing.
Netflix at the height of their ability.
It's
They're
amazing.
just, cable should just destroy itself. Just go cry in a corner
It
and
does.
die.
Yeah, it
Because
mostly
Netflix
does.
just destroys you with the
Yeah.
quality of their shows.
I wonder if it's sustainable though. Like Netflix has like something like 70 series out, right? Like that seems like so much. It's too much to watch. There's so much on my to watch list.
Yeah, and they put it all out at once, so you
yeah.
can just binge it if you want. You don't have to wait week for week.
I know, but things like the OA. I mean, there's so many shows that are like on my.
the
watch
OA
list.
is good,
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna see it. So, too much TV. It's 2016 was a great year for
I don't
TV.
even have enough time to listen to all the podcasts I want to listen to, but
Exactly.
I've got to mention one that I do actually make the time to listen to.
Go for it.
Besides Coast to Coast AM,
Right.
it's My Favorite Murder.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right.
Yeah.
You start typing that into the podcast app on your iPhone, and that's the first thing that will come up.
Yeah.
It's that big and it's that good.
It's
And
huge.
There's a local girl here who I went to school with. We're in the same grade. Her name's Karen Kilgariff. She's one of the co-hosts on that show, and she's awesome.
Right. Very funny. Her
I'm a
and,
huge fan.
yeah, her and Georgia host that show. It's a true crime comedy
And
podcast.
we've talked about them before. I mean, they're
Oh yeah,
blowing up. They're
no,
getting
everyone
huge.
knows. Everyone knows who they are.
And they
They're
deserve
rock
it.
stars.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
That's the dream. That's where we want to be, man. We want to be
Hey,
able
we
to.
would just like to make
That would be
inroads with
amazing,
them.
right?
I mean, being that I grew up with her and she was a friend of mine as a child, I would, like to make some inroads.
Yeah, Karen, let's talk.
Do an article with Charlie for the Boho.
Hops
know?
and Monsters at Gmail.
Local girl makes good podcast superstar angle.
Let's open up the bloody show. God, I feel bad saying it. I can't even say it. I feel like a dirtbag. Against the Grain Brewery, we need to talk. You guys are filthy.
Can we get some fresh glasses for this? Because this is blood orange, and I don't want to mix it with the stout.
And glasses? No, I'm just and
We just
you
come
talk-
into his
you
house
talk
in
while
his
I get
studio,
glasses.
and we make him do everything. We're
Hey,
horrible.
the life of an audio engineer is to make sure the talent's comfortable.
Exactly. Well, now
wanna
see,
call
now
this
you
talent.
are talent. Yeah, he's entering the talent realm. So we're gonna try one more. I think Bloody Show is actually kind of appropriate because we're gonna get into celebrity deaths 2016. I've got them in chronological order here. We're going to start with David Bowie, musician, actor, all around great guy. No, the late great. That one was a huge shock. It came
yeah.
days after Black Star, his 25th album or something
You
came
gotta wonder
out.
if that was planned.
I think a part of it was planned. I don't know if it was planned so close. Yeah, but
Like you buy that album, you listen to it, and literally you get to listen to it once, and then you find out he's dead.
and it's very prophetic. The album, it's his single is Lazarus, about a man who rises from the dead. It's
That's quite ironic.
yeah. But I grew up knowing David Bowie more as an actor before I knew he was a musician, really, because I watched Labyrinth. and
I've
I
seen him in
watched-
more movies than I've listened to his albums.
Yeah,
It's true.
But his music was one of those that kind of redefined what I thought of music as. What I considered rock and roll and pop music was a very limited thing as a kid, and then you're 18 or so, and you discover David Bowie, and it just it's one of those.
I think I was 14 when I first heard "Let's Dance,"
Sure.
and Stevie Ray Vaughan played on that song, and that's a very distinctive guitar solo.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just that happens. 4 days later, Alan Rickman passed away.
That one
in January.
kind of hard. I mean, he was
That one
one of the most
hurt.
likable villains in Die Hard that I've ever come
Yeah.
across in cinema history.
One of the great villains. He was
you
actually,
can actually relate to him.
yeah, yeah, right. He was one of those guys that was in everything, and you weren't paying attention, but he
I'm
was
not even
there.
talking about Harry Potter.
And, right, exactly. One of my favorite roles of his was in Dogma, my favorite Kevin Smith movie, where he played the kind of angry angel who would swill tequila and have to
Right?
spit it back out. He was so funny and yet British and could do all the things that the British dramatic actors could do, but he was just a very funny and, yeah, like you said, likable person. Dan Haggerty, of course, Grizzly Adams died. I mean, that's just a childhood legend. Glenn Fry from the Eagles. I hate the fucking Eagles.
I hate the fucking Eagles,
I
man.
hate the fucking Eagles, man. But, Abe Vigoda, classic mobster character actor. I loved Abe. What else we got? Harper Lee, the author. I mean, that's the thing. 2016 didn't just take musicians. It didn't just take actors. It took everybody. It took sports heroes. It took literary heroes. It took, science heroes. Everybody got affected in that one. The one I'm thinking, Nancy Reagan died. She was, whatever you want to say about Ronald Reagan, Nancy Reagan was someone who...
She scared me away from drugs for 20 years of my life.
she
I believed her rhetoric.
Just say no, just say no.
That's why I didn't even start drinking or doing anything until I was 27.
Gary Shandling, comedian, The Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah, no, he was so funny in the 80s.
He was so
Damn.
funny still. Merle Haggard, country singer, classic outlaw kind of country guy. Doris Roberts, who was in Everybody Loves Raymond. I mean, I'm just going down a list here. This is just people who and there's a lot of people who are old, but then there was a lot of people like Prince, who was, 57 or whatever he was. Too young. Prince. I mean, did you see that one? That one really hit me hard at the office that day. That was one of those where I had to do an interview that day with this lady, and I get on the phone with her, and she is like, I can hear that she's like been crying, on the phone. It's like, and it's about Prince, and people who grew up in that era.
If you grew up in the 80s, Prince was legit.
He's a
I don't
hero,
care what kind of music you listened to, you had to give it up to him. That was one talented motherfucker.
One of the great guitarists. I mean,
I'm convinced he was a
maybe the
hybrid
greatest
alien.
guitarist, of the era. I don't know. It's like
He's no slouch on guitar. He learned
ridiculous.
his lessons well from Hendrix. But more impressive than that was just the way he was able to use the entire studio as an instrument, and how he was on so many of the top 80s hits. He was on a Stevie Nicks song.
Right.
Composed one of her biggest hits.
right.
Uncredited. No one knows.
It was one of those where I just learned like a year or two earlier that he wrote "Nothing Compares to You,"
Right.
made famous by Sinead O'Connor. But it's like
That's
this
originally
guy-
a Prince song.
Yeah, that is. I mean, yeah, and like you said,
He's got his stamp on so many
Not only the
iconic 80s hit
and
tunes.
he's got probably dozens of unreleased albums
there's
worth of material.
probably
I mean,
hundreds of tracks in his
prolific.
vaults.
Yeah, prolific.
They're going to be releasing stuff for years.
So
He's going to have
hopefully we get
more
to hear some
material
of that.
than Hendrix or Zeppelin put together.
Yeah, hopefully we get to hear that. Here's one that hit me hard that I didn't think would. Muhammad Ali.
Right?
For some reason, I don't know. I mean, I never really identified with Muhammad Ali. I never had any posters up, but he was
right up there with Bruce Lee for me in the 70s as a hero.
Right.
As someone who
A cultural
overcame
hero.
adversity.
More than a sports hero, more than a
cultural
culture,
icon.
but a cultural icon. Someone who wanted, someone who showed you
He
what,
transcended right out of the
could
race
be.
barriers. And,
right.
just
Just what you aspired to be as a person.
he showed us what a human being could aspire to be and what he could attain.
Done. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. Gordie Howe. I grew up loving hockey, so I mean, everybody. And we mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Anton Yelchin, the young man who played
That's
Chekhov.
almost too soon. I mean, and he was in Green
And
Room,
just-
one movie
we just
that we
saw him in
mentioned,
Green
one of the
Room.
best films of the year.
And he's great in it,
Yeah,
right?
he's
And
terrific as the bass
he's
player.
just so great. So magnetic. Just someone you wanted to root for, and it's just such a sad, like, wasteful, just ridiculous way to go. Michael Cimino, or Cimino, I'm not sure how you say the
Michael
last
Cimino.
name. The guy who directed Deer Hunter and
I think he wrote Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, he famous 70s filmmaker passed away. I don't know. It's like Gary Marshall, guy who directed or conceived of
Amazing
Happy Days.
producer.
Amazing guy.
I think he was involved in Raiders of the Lost Ark and a bunch of. Or no, that was Frank Marshall. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Gary Marshall was the guy, who basically created Happy Days and
Oh yeah, Ron Howard.
yeah.
I saw The Grinch last night, by the way. Great film.
You know who hit me hard? Kenny Baker, R2D2.
I had
The
no
short,
idea.
Yeah, the short actor who played R2D2. He was 81. And
Do
a
you
lot
think
of
he
these.
got to reprise his role in Rogue One for a brief minute. Or do you think that was
not
a
Rogue
stand-in?
One? Maybe Force. I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know if
Yeah,
he
I'm
ever.
not sure.
But I and it's like people like him, Gene Wilder
Gene Wilder hit me
passed
hard.
away. These are guys who maybe they weren't in the spotlight in the last 10, 15 years. Gene Wilder, long retired from show business, but they're just these figures who
His
we
films
grew
are
up with,
unforgettable, though.
and they're in their 80s. These are natural things that are going to happen a lot of the times, but this was just one of those years, I think, where a lot of people just got to that old age, but then a lot of people like David Bowie and Prince died of too young, in my opinion. And
Well, David
it's
Bowie
all
was from
happening at
cancer.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was.
Well, yeah.
There was a lot of that going around.
No one should be having.
Well, he did smoke a
having to deal
lot.
with that.
He always looked good with a cigarette in his hand. The
Yeah.
thin white Duke. Kind of
Right.
need to have that look, but
And there's a lot of people this year.
there's a price to pay for that.
There's a lot of people that died this year that we probably didn't even notice. I feel like someone like Janet Reno died. Do you know Janet Reno died?
The
I mean,
former Attorney General of
yeah,
our country.
Exactly. And people like Leonard Cohen didn't even really get much when he died. He died like 2 days after the presidential election. So
I
he
knew
kinda
Leonard
got
Cohen
buried.
died, but
yeah, Leon Russell and Florence Henderson, the mom from the Brady Bunch. It's like all these people kind of went without even getting because by the time they went, everybody was going, so it wasn't even news at that point. Fidel Castro dies, and so
that one hit me hard particularly as well. I was such a fan of his baseball
such a
days.
fan of his early music, his output.
No, he was an American League baseball player.
Well, but the one that we should end on, and I think we got to end here pretty soon. And I feel like we're keeping you. I hope that's not the case.
You guys
but
are keeping my heartstrings right now.
yeah, I know.
This is heavy.
Basically, this year sucked for a lot of big things, and then of course it gets capped off on Christmas Day with George Michael, and
Damn.
it's one of those where I'm still kind of again. I was a kid in the '80s. I didn't know what gay was. George Michael to me was a sex symbol.
Well, when you put
And
out
I
a
didn't
song,
know why, but it
but
was.
he had a song called "I Want Your Sex."
It wasn't. Well, it wasn't. But I guess
Do the math.
what I
Charlie.
want to say is it wasn't the obvious sex symbol. Like you kind of knew something was off or something was different, or and for
It
him
didn't
to,
matter to me that he was gay.
no, but
His music
But,
was
like,
great.
There
He
was
was-
Madonna who flaunted sex, but at the same time, you knew kind of exactly what you were getting
Yeah.
because it was very forefront. But with George Michael, there was a lot of sexuality, but it wasn't. It was kind of like
It was subtle. It was under the radar.
no, it wasn't subtle.
No,
it was kind of.
but it was different. It was the
You're talking about a
heralding-
man who said he would never turn down a free meal as long as it came in a bathroom.
Look, I think
He actually said that.
I think the point. Well, I'm sure he did. I think the point is, George Michael is one of those figures, like Prince or Bowie, who, in the '80s especially, introduced us to the idea of gender is a concept. Sexuality.
You're going to tell me you saw a Wham video and you did not think or even suspect that he was gay.
I'm going to tell
as
you,
if it matters.
I'm going to tell you the entire world saw a Wham video and did not understand that he was gay in it because that wasn't a concept that we were talking about publicly. I'm saying George Michael,
because I picked up
people
on that
like
right
Prince,
away.
people like Madonna, they actually opened up the culture to talking about, to recognizing, to accepting, to embracing ideas of queer, of LGBT, of alternative lifestyle, of all that stuff that now is such a no-brainer for us. I mean,
I still can't believe all this shit is in the news. Who cares?
Well, yeah, exactly. You would think, but the struggle goes on. I mean, it's one of those where you love George Michael so much because you love his music so much that when you're a kid and you're like me and you're 10 years old and you're hearing that, oh, he's gay, or that gay is a thing, then it lets you know that that's okay and that that's something to
It was never
embrace,
an issue for
to
me,
love.
man. Like Judas
No, that's
Priest
what I
has
mean.
always been one of my favorite bands. I knew they were gay.
That's
British Steel was the first record I ever bought.
I love it.
I knew it was gay as hell. I didn't care.
That's what I'm saying. That's progress without us understanding
I
progress.
want to go hot rocking.
We
Charlie.
grow up. We grow up and we idolize people like Judas Priest. We idolize people like George Michael, and they let us just love each other without all these preconceived restrictions. I don't know. I'm not saying what I want to say as well as I want to say it. Basically, everybody's okay. We need people like George Michael to tell us that and to drill that into our fucking stupid heads that everyone's okay and everyone's deserving of love, and
As long as you're not hurting anybody else,
Yeah.
you're fine. You're
Everyone-
fine, people.
And that's what we lost, I think, in 2016. We lost those people who told us when we were young that just do whatever you want to do.
Well,
It's
I don't think they
okay.
could stand
Be who
the
you wanna
world
be.
the way they see it's going right now.
It's I know that's the scary part. We need more of those people, and I
we're
feel
losing
like we
them.
lost a lot of them. And so everybody, I don't know. If I have a New Year's resolution, it is to love everybody, accept everybody, just be there for everybody. I don't know. It sounds
Fuck yeah,
maudlin.
dude.
This sounds stupid.
No, dude, it's not
but-
at all. It's
But that's really what it's like. You got to double down on positivity right now. You got to
absolutely. We need it more than ever.
you got to double down on acceptance. You got to let people live their life because everyone's been going through way too much bullshit. And if everyone can just stop giving everyone else a hard time, why can't we be friends? It's like, why can't we just all get along? These are not new concepts.
Wise words spoken by Rodney King.
Thank you. That's how I got to go out. I don't know. Last words for 2016. What do you got?
Can't we all just get along?
Can't we all just get along? Exactly. And
Things are going to rotate. Like, right now, we're in a time when things have been shaken up. We've lost a lot of people that had started expanding people's minds, opening up
yeah,
people to things that have always been there, and it's nothing different. It's just people are more aware of what's going on around them, and I think that now is another opportunity for that to happen. This is going to be the new 80s. The 2020s is going to be the new 80s.
I love it.
I like that.
I hope so. I hope you're right. One of the best things that happened this year for me was Hops and Monsters. I want to thank you, Ben, and I want to thank you, Ant, for joining me on this.
I want to thank both of you for allowing me this opportunity to dork out.
Absolutely
like, so much.
This
Man.
has been great for me. We're going to
I've
see
had-
you in 2017. Yeah, let's keep it going.
2016 has been a tough year, but I got to say 2015 was even tougher. So I feel like it's getting easier already, and I've had some incredible experiences happen to me. I've met some incredible people. Some of the best friends. I feel like they're going to be lifelong friends for the rest of my life I've met this year.
Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful and so blessed. And I just want to say that.
I'm grateful that you guys are here with me. I look forward to doing this for.
We're just going to keep doing
the
it
bombs
until
fall.
we get bored or
Yeah.
until the bombs fall. One or the other.
So I'm Charlie.
I'm Ben.
I'm Ant.
That's Ant. Hops and Monsters. We'll see you in 2017. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Keep it going.